Mike Broad, thank you so much for joining me on the AI6 podcast.
Joanne Sweeney, a pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm delighted to be here today.
Well, listen, first of all, introduce yourself to our viewers and our listeners.
Thank you very much. Well, my name's Mike Broad. I've actually been in franchising for 16 years and I'm taking a bit of a change of direction. But in 16 years, I've run my own small business, a photography studio in Knightsbridge in London. I've helped children do performing arts and then also worked in adult education. So various degrees of experience helping small business owners and franchise owners. And then I've just been blown away by the AI world, what it's doing, the stories I'm hearing, and I've now taken on a role as an AI consultant. And I'm delighted to be working, consulting with this business called Newer. You can see their logo in the background, and they've got some really exciting stuff in the pipeline. But just generally, I'm infused by AI overall and delighted to be here to talk to you about that today.
And you know what? It's like all of us, we've got long careers behind us. We've done very many things, but this age of AI feels like something fresh and new, and not like we're starting again, but that we're taking all our experience and it's completely relevant in the age of AI. Are you somebody who professes that we're going to be replaced, or we can really step up and take advantage of AI?
So a bit like one of your 6-minute podcasts I had the pleasure of listening to, AI will not take our jobs, but someone who uses AI will take your job. Absolutely. It's one of those things. It's like when the World Wide Web came around a number of years ago. Do I need a web page? What does it look like? I'll code one in HTML and keep it basic. And now if you don't have a web page and the facility to order direct on your site, you're not there. You're not even a business. You don't exist. And it's going to be the same with AI. You're going to need to use it in your business. For me, there's always got to be a human in the loop. HITL, the new acronym I keep hearing everywhere that people talk about, but you're always going to have that human in the loop. For me, it's about freeing up people to do what they're passionate about. People started businesses because they're passionate about baking cakes in their bakery that they've started their small bakery up, or helping people, supporting people, and they want to spend their time doing that. Every small business owner has to do marketing, HR, sales, everything. They have to put on so many different hats in their business, and quite often they don't have the skill set for all of that, and it's not what they started their business to do. It's not why they got into it. So for me, AI is not going to take jobs. It's going to free people up to do what they're passionate about and really add value and add that human touch, which we will always need and will never go away.
And I run a small business, so I know exactly who you're talking to when you're talking to your SME clients. But really, AI is giving us just assistance. We have now a whole team of people, and we've got all of these tools like ChatGPT and Gemini and Claude and Perplexity, and the list goes on. There are tens of thousands of them. But you're stepping into an arena that is taking it to the next level, and that's introducing AI agents into small businesses. So for those who are new to the concept, explain what an AI agent is.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's not someone like James Bond running around in a tuxedo. That's what springs to my mind straight away. But an AI agent is a tool and a resource, and it can take on many forms. But ultimately, it can handle a skill set. It can be an additional employee in your team. The phrase I've heard that I love is "grow your workforce, not your payroll." And I love that. I think that really clicks for me. It makes sense. And an agent can do tasks and jobs. There's a lot of buzzwords around agents at the minute, and some of it is just automation. Tools that are already here. An agent will do this, it will do that, it will order for you online that Amazon are bringing in, and give it your credit card details and it'll place your order. No, thank you. Too scary for me. But that's basic agents and automation. What the team at Newer are doing is they're looking at introducing agents that can actually take over from humans in certain parts of the organization and the business. There's 3 key areas for them in terms of what they're looking at. There's the sales area, there's the customer support area, and then there's the operations area. And every small business owner needs more sales. You'll hear a lot of people say sales answers everything. So that's always the first place to start, and it adds the most value. The agents that the fantastic guys at Newer are developing are that first contact point, that first touch point with somebody when they're looking to inquire, research about a product or a service, or buy a product or a service. quite often they'll be doing their research. They've got half an hour before they've got to pick the kids up from school or before they've got to go for dinner, and I've got to get this done quickly. We're all busy people. So they might do a bit of research online, and they might then find some potential people they think they can provide the service or the product they're looking for, and they'll put an inquiry in. They might call that company, they might fill in a web form, they might use a chatbot on a website, but effectively an agent is going to answer that query. So if someone puts a lead in, the agent at NUA will call that lead within 15 seconds. So instantly that person's in a buying mindset or a research mindset. So they're going to get a call within 15 seconds. And in sales, it's all about speed to lead. Quickest one there, most professional service is going to put you in great stead with that potential customer and give a great first impression of your business. So the agent will call them and it will act like a human, sounds like a human, responds like a human. It's scary. And what we found is you need to be honest and upfront with people. You need to disclose the fact, hi, I'm Mary. I'm an AI agent from NUA, and I'm here to help you get the information you need and put you in contact with the specialist human in our business that's going to be able to help you solve the issue you're contacting us about today, to put people at ease straight away. And what I find when I deal with computers and technology and I'm inquiring with companies, quite often I get really annoyed really quickly. I have a very short patience, and if a chatbot pops up and it doesn't answer my question first time, it gets one chance second time. If not, I'm annoyed and I move away. When I call my bank, press 1 to speak to this department. Press 2 if you need this. And I'm screaming down the phone, let me speak to a human. Whereas an AI agent on the voice call feature will have a conversation with that human in real time, effective conversation. And it will understand their pain point, look at the solutions when it references your database and your data, and we'll come on to the importance of having that data structure set up. But it will understand their pain point and it will ultimately qualify that lead for you. It can also access other systems in your organization, such as your calendar or your diary. So it can make an appointment with that person if they feel they're qualified. It can make an appointment with the correct salesperson in the organization in that person's diary, send a meeting link out to the potential customer, and all the salesperson gets is, I've spoken to Joe Bloggs, he's got this much budget, he's interested to buy, and he's got a call booked in your diary for 2:00 on Wednesday. So it's taking that first sort of step out. And most companies maybe have a 20% conversion rate, if you like, on the leads that come in. And they spend so many hours trying to call those leads, trying to follow up, calling them the next morning when they come into work, or not being able to get hold of them. So an agent does that first step for them. And you've got a voice agent, but it also has the ability to use WhatsApp. So if they don't pick up the telephone, it will send them a WhatsApp message. Some people don't want to speak to people. So send them a WhatsApp message and it will have that conversation over WhatsApp. So that's what the team at NUA are developing, to enable you to get qualified leads very quickly and progress them along that sales funnel very efficiently. And ultimately, it's saving you time, it's saving you money, and it's speeding up that process. And the key, it's got to provide a really professional, good service to that end user, that potential customer. So they go, wow, I never knew it could do this, and I've got the information I need. Potentially, it can send them an email after the call with a click to buy. Here's our best solution for you, and here's the link if you want to go ahead and purchase.
That's real scalable sales and marketing. Now, obviously, for the agent to be up to speed in your business, your product, your service, and to, turn that cold lead into a warm lead and book that call on the calendar, they have to have the information. They need to be trained. So this is where the data comes in. What do small businesses need to have in order to train up an agent to a level that's going to convert?
So you're absolutely right, Joanne. It's all about the data. AI is only as good as the data that it's putting from and the model it's been trained on effectively. So it's really important as a small business owner, you start to think about, how do I set up my business to be an AI first business? How do I get my documents in place, my systems in place, and my knowledge? Because that's what's really valuable to the small business owner, their knowledge that they've had after however many years running their business, having the conversation with clients, delivering the product. They've got that knowledge, and it's not all documented. I've got to be honest with you, if it is, it could be in a couple of Excel spreadsheets over here. It could be in a CRM system that people just use half of the time. So the key is to set your business up to be AI first and really look to get your data in order. An agent will pull from documents, databases. You can upload your product catalog to the agent. You can upload if you have a sales training process already in your business, you can upload that. But it's really important you get all those in line. And we can help you with that and those processes. We can come in and the guys at New are two brothers, and they're really great at the technical bits and the RAG and the LMN and how they pull it all together. What I'm doing with the business is advising on the sales and marketing, how that process works, what you need to do, how many touch points, what follow up, what the agent should do at what point in time. So there's always going to be work needed with a business for us to understand how your business works and what's unique to you. But that data is so important. And if you can get your business set up now as an AI first business, AI is progressing so quickly. You're going to get the benefit of all these incremental updates. All of the time, ChatGPT can now do this, Google Video can do this. It's every week there's a new update. And if you're already set up with the data correct at the starting point, the agents, the AI systems you're putting into your small business, as they get upgraded, you're getting free upgrades every single time. Whereas if you try and jump on this in a couple of years' time, you're going to have to redo your whole systems, pull them apart, reset from scratch to be able to take advantage of these great technological advancements that we're seeing today weekly.
So apart from the scalability, increasing your workforce without your payroll, I think there's a competitive argument here. Those businesses that are AI first movers and introduce the technology and really rethink their business from an AI first perspective, they're going to have competitive edge because as customers, we're using AI. It's in our language. We're using ChatGPT every day. So the longer you're fearful, the less competitive advantage you have. Would you agree?
100%. It's going to be harder to catch up in the future. It's something everybody needs to be looking at now. And if you don't do it, your competitors will do it and you will get left behind. The things that we're seeing now, how quickly it's moving and the processes and systems that are in place, it blows my mind of what can be done. And then something new comes out and you're like, wow, it can do that. And you've only got to start small in your business. You've only got to take one step. That's why we've decided to focus on agents. The guys at New, they feel it's the most value add, it's the simplest, it's the most effective, it's going to have the most impact to the business. And it's that first step through the door to get you to demystify what AI is. Because let's be honest, when a lot of people say the words AI, most people, there's fear out there. There's unknown, there's insecurity, there's how does it work for me? What will it do? I think the scary thing is you hear these big companies, OpenAI, Anthropic, and what they're doing. And what does it do with my data? Where does my data go? Who's in control of it? And that is going back to the data, the biggest part of it. You've got to protect your IP and your company information. You don't want people in your team just dabbling with ChatGPT on the free version, uploading company information, because it's just being used to train the next model and you don't know where that's going to pop up in the future. So the other thing we're seeing is about educating the workforce in these SMEs. What you'll find is in most organizations, some people are scared of AI. I never used it, don't want to use it, not for me. Some people use ChatGPT and dabble in it. Some are kind of power users and they're plowing through and doing all kinds of stuff with it. But quite often they're not telling their boss what they're doing. And their boss doesn't know what they're doing either within their business. And it's a real scary point for small businesses. So I think the other thing that the guys at New are doing to make sure you keep that competitive advantage, you've got to bring your whole workforce with you. You've got to support everyone in your organization. You've got to give them the right knowledge and the right skills and the right education. But not only that, you've got to have policies in place of how to use AI in the business and the organization to make sure everybody knows what they can and can't do within the business. You've got to have oversight of what they're uploading to these systems, these models, so you can see what's going on, how it's being used, and then from there you can grow as a business. But that competitive advantage, like you said, is so important. You've got to jump on it now.
So the AI agents that are developed by NUA for SMEs, is all their data retained on their own server? Is it on a NUA server? How does that work? And you're just using the open source technology to customize an agent for a business? Because that's probably one of the questions, isn't it, that people are asking you?
It's the biggest thing around it: data security, GDPR, ICO. Where does it go? What do we do? Who's in control of it? So yeah, that's one of the things the guys are really developing. There's two brothers, Connor and Kevin, and one of them's got a master's in cybersecurity, and the other one's got a master's in data analysis and systems as well. So they're really knowledgeable about this stuff, and that's what they're focusing on. Is an actual agent, as we talk about, is made up of so many parts underneath that. You've got different agents for the sales process, different agents for the customer support, different knowledge base agents. And then when they acquire that data and they're sharing it with you, it's actually about plugging into your systems, using the right APIs, using the right security, the right systems, and making sure absolutely that data is 100% locked down. Because there's some very important personal information that people are going to be sharing there. They may even get to the point they want to give credit card details and make an order. At this point, I'd still say they wouldn't trust an AI. The public, we haven't gone through that generational shift at the minute, but they'll still talk to a human for that. But yeah, you're right about the systems. The guys are newer. They're looking at what's on the market. They're testing various models, and even things such as RAG, where they're retrieving information from a database. The ones out there, they're not secure enough. They're not good enough. It still allows for hallucinations, if you like, where it will still pull stuff from the public knowledge as well as your database. So they're developing their own system for that, because they want it to be super secure and super effective. When you're trusting an agent, and trust is the biggest thing here with all of this, you're trusting an agent in your business and your data, and to be the face of your business. It's got to work. It's got to be spot on 100%. People have got to trust it, and you've got to trust it with the data. So there's full disclosure of the systems, the processes, the regulations, and making sure everything is absolutely tied up, nice, tidy, and it's secure for everyone involved.
So if somebody's listening to this and they're a small business owner and they're intrigued, but they're like, I'm not sure my business is big enough, or is my business relevant, what would you say to them?
I'd say technology works for any size business. I'll give you one example, and it's not even AI related. It's slightly technology related. I was talking to my a guy coming round to look at fitting some new windows. I needed some new windows, and I was just chatting to him. And he's a small business owner. He'd been in the industry for 10 years and fits windows and doors locally in the area I live. And he said, "I've got a new lady in the office. She's fantastic. I used to go out and have a look at people's homes, and I'd measure up, and I'd take my notepad and my pen, and I'd scribble down what the measurements were, and I'd go back to the office, and then I'd have to copy that all up. I'd work out my quote, I'd type up my quote, and then I'd email it out. And it was just taking me so long. She's given me this wonderful electronic notepad. So I go to their house and I put all my notes on this electronic notepad. And actually, by the time I've got in my car, that's automatically gone and been sent back to this fantastic lady in an office. She's done the quote, she's put it in the system and emailed it out to the client. And it's just blown his mind, because he's now getting to spend his time with the customer, not in front of a computer. And that, I think, is just one tiny example of just a small business, how introducing technology can really help you. So yeah, any business owner. There's talk of the £1 billion one person business. I've heard talk about that online. Who's going to be the first person to be a single business owner with a whole AI workforce that takes the valuation up to $1 billion? So it doesn't matter what size your business is. It doesn't matter how many people. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. There is absolutely use cases for you in your business.
So let's make a prediction. We're at June 2025. How mainstream are AI agents going to be in the next 12 months?
Next 12 months, you say, John. So I reckon we'll start to see adoption. It's like anything. You get the first adopters that jump in there, people like you and me that are really intrigued and just see the vision and where it's going, and we'll jump in. So I think we'll have the first adopters on board in 12 months easily. We've already got this technology out there. Companies are already using it. It's about making it accessible to everybody, and it's about taking the fear away and building people's knowledge about it, which is why I love what you're doing and why I was delighted to come on here today, because you're sharing that knowledge, you're breaking down those barriers, you're taking that fear away, and it's about making it easy for people to understand. That AI 101, that it's got to be the lowest common denominator and work for everybody before you're going to get mass adoption. It will get there. I don't think everyone will be using them in 12 months, but I think you'll see people using it, and it will start to become acceptable to talk to an AI agent, because that's the other thing. When does it become acceptable? You know, if I go out to a restaurant now, I hate it, but people put mobile phones on the table, and that's acceptable. Whereas that wasn't acceptable quite a number of years ago. Now it's just acceptable. It's acceptable if something's going on to have a phone out and film it. For me, I'm still a bit, I feel rude. I feel like I'm invading someone's private space. But for certain people, no problem. Something's going on. I've got my phone out and I'm going to film it. And it takes society to accept certain behaviors. And I believe we are going to see that shift. When you have a contact with an agent, if you call one of the businesses New is working with, and you spoke to an agent and it gave you what you needed, it was quicker, it was easier. And to be honest, it cut out a lot of the waffle. It wasn't a junior member of staff that you talked to that didn't have all the knowledge you were looking for. It gave you all the information you needed. It solved your pain point, the reason you were calling. All of a sudden, that's a better experience for you. And then society is going to become a lot more acceptable of this technology. And that's when I believe we'll really start to see it be integrated. And at some point, it will become the norm. But what happens then, and that's the really interesting bit for me, is the value that gets placed on the human. The value of the human touch. Just this morning, I had a call with a company, and they said, our marketing guy's using ChatGPT. He's dabbling with it. It's a bit hit and miss. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't think he's quite got it yet. And he's probably putting a few prompts in, getting a bit of content and posting it out there. There's no human in the loop of that, which is why I believe that human touch will become so valuable in the future. And actually content with the odd spelling mistake in there, with the odd grammatical error, actually becomes authentic and genuine. And I think that will be really, really valuable.
So I think the big takeaway from this conversation is we all need to think as business owners, what is our AI first business? What does that look like for us? Where do we bring the value? Where does the technology bring the value? And then secondly, what can an AI agent do for the customers, and what systems can it streamline and automate to give us back time? Because it is pretty exciting that you can increase your workforce, but not your payroll. So Mike, thank you so much. If people want to get in touch with you or with Nua, where do you want to direct them?
So I would say Nua.com is the place to go. That's NUUAA.com. They're developing some really exciting stuff there. So if you're interested, pop your details in the form. You'll be added to the newsletter, and the Nua team there will keep you updated. They'll let you know what's going on. They'll be talking to you about agents and educating your workforce. And then I'm always happy to have conversations with people. But it's certainly an exciting time ahead. And I can't wait to see where this goes.
Well, maybe we'll catch up in 12 months and see if AI agents have mainstreamed.
I'll get my agent to call you and book the call in.
You do that. Thanks very much, Mike.
Joanna, pleasure. Take care. Thank you very much.